Well, hey, speaking of getting to work, let's get to work here. And by that I mean let's have fun, right? We're challenging ourselves. We're unlocking our imagination. We are fully subjecting ourselves to randomness, and yet we can still pull something that is cohesive, something that is compelling out of random number generation. Yes, Corrida, I am indeed. Let's roll a percentile die. With a 69, that is a male character who is a... Number 7 is a half-elf. And a half-elf that we rolled an even. Favors his elven side. That could be linguistically, culturally, or just genetically in appearance. He might look... And this is something we kind of do custom on the channel. This is something that... it's a tiebreaker. It can help us develop the character. But in some form or fashion, this character prefers his elven side more than his human side. Even if it's 51-49 as a split. Alright, his alignment is going to be 59-82. That is going to be chaotic neutral. We are going to roll this character up at level... We rolled a 5, so we have another level 4 character. So, Corda, you haven't written in NaNoWriMo since 2015. Had this story idea rolling about, so when the email came yesterday, I grabbed my notebook and began writing. That's, and hey, you know, we have a mentor network, Corda, on our Discord. So if you ever get held up in, you know, if you have some writer's block, let us know, and we can help bust through that. Yeah, well, chaotic neutral, you could do a lot of interesting things with it, right? We rolled a 51 to see if we were going to replace our ability score increase with a feat, and we didn't. So it's just going to be a flat stat bump. All right, now let's get a little juicier, right? We were talking about brisket and such earlier. Let's get into some of the juicy, like, smoked barbecue brisket of our character with our background. Our background is 12. All right, so he was a soldier, or still is. And in particular, soldiers have 8 different origins or roles that they played in their career. And we rolled a 6. I can't tell you offhand, off the top of my head, what a 6 is, but we'll explore it, because right now we're creating placeholders. And then we'll build our character piecemeal, step by step after that. While we're still here, speaking of background, let's generate our personality traits. 4 and 6. And then 1, 4, and 4 for the ideal, the bond, and the flaw. Alrighty. Now it's time to hit our big golden D12 and figure out which class our character is going to be. 11. We have a Warlock. With a Warlock, we're going to roll 2d3 to figure out our patron, and then which pact we've taken with our patron. 1 and 1. We are an Archfey, Pact of the Blade. So we are a Fey Blade. We're also medium sized. There we go. We'll fill that in real quick. Alright, half elf. We're going to start at 4 feet 9 inches tall and add 2d8 inches to our height. 9. So we're 4 foot 18 or 5 foot 6, as some circles might know it. Now we're going to take that same number 9, multiply it by 2d4, and then add that to 110 pounds to get our weight. 3. So we're adding 27 pounds. So 137 pounds. A bit of a small boy, I suppose. Okay, time for our age. Right? Remember, where in your character's natural life cycle is she or he? At 79. Oh, we have another middle-aged character here. What that means? All right, so here's our column for middle ages for the races, and we're gonna take half elf over. So middle age for a half elf is between 91 and 125. So we're gonna add a 35-sided die, or the result of one, to our base age. And we rolled a 35. Alright, so we are middle-aged at 135 years old. We finished with our random number generation, and now it is going to be time to delve into what we get through our background. And I like doing that first because we're talking about barbecue, right? That's what prepares the meat. That's what will season the meat. You know, whether you're smoking it or marinating it, it's what is formative for your end result character. So we'll minimize this, and you know, class, if you have your player's handbooks open to chapter 4 on page 121, we're going to skip ahead in this chapter to soldier, and here we go. My cheeks are a little itchy from having shaved for Halloween, so everything's starting to kind of grow back, and it's causing, like, you know, plus the weather's been it's such that, you know, it kind of gives you some itchy skin here. So if I'm going like this, like, it's because I don't have hair on my cheeks anymore. Well, it's coming back. All right, so we have skill proficiencies in athletics and intimidation. We'll have a tool proficiency with some kind of a gaming set. That could be dice, dragon chess, regular chess, 3 dragon ante, different card games like poker, which is kind of a, you know, you have chess and dragon chess, and then you have like poker or regular card games, and then 3 dragon ante. And then also vehicles, land. So we know how to drive a cart or a wagon. Well, that concept chord goes back even before Assassin's Creed. All right, we are going to get some starting equipment. We're going to get an insignia of our rank. And that's something to talk to your DM about, right? If you were or are a soldier, what rank were you? Where do you stand in the hierarchy, if you still do? Also, what does that insignia look like? Do you still wear your patches or your brass or whatever else, you know, do you even still wear your uniform around? A trophy taken from a fallen enemy. Let's make this a trinket of some kind. And that'll be interesting. So what did we find on an enemy? What did an enemy give us? What did we just find on the battlefield where we're fighting the enemy in a broad sense? Astreus, welcome! Corda, check out hack sign. .hack//sign. Or really the whole .hack franchise. But in particular, check out hack sign. Right now you're blank because I'm on dark mode and your name... Yeah, it's... Corda's always had a very difficult to read name. So then we're also going to get a gaming set of some kind, presumably the one with which we're proficient. Common clothes. And again, talk to your DM. Do you have a uniform still? If you did serve, or do you now currently because you still do? Common clothes and a belt pouch containing 10 gapuz. Yeah, .hack. All right. Now our specialty. We rolled number 6. I didn't know what a 6 was in terms of. I didn't know what 6 was in terms of our background. Right. We rolled it because it's part of it. Well, now we're going to start filling in our placeholders. Well, I mean, I'm not going to split hairs over stuff like that, Corida, but the concept is there. And honestly, .hack isn't the first one to even employ that kind of a thing. It wouldn't be in relation to their rank. If you look up here, they have specialties. So as a soldier, you weren't just a soldier. You did something in particular. We rolled of the 8 choices that the PHB gives you, and of course you could think way beyond just 6 choices for your character at a home game. But we rolled 6, and that is a Quartermaster. So a Quartermaster, you know, we're kind of the we ran the bivouac, you know, we ran the camp. We were accounting for our supplies. We were handing them out. You know, we were rationing them. Maybe even making task force lists, job assignments, that kind of a thing. Oh well. Maybe it's just something that wasn't offered on the site then, Astreus. Now, our feature that we're getting is military rank. And it's really good. Again, it should directly insert you into the story. This is meat and potatoes. Again, we'll go back to barbecuing because we were talking about that earlier. This is meat and potato stuff, not just for you as a PC, but for your DM. Your character can be... I mean, you could have intrigue, exploration, you could do espionage if you like Metal Gear stuff, or if you just want to be a kick-in-the-door style soldier, have fun. All right, now, our personality traits are number 4 and number 6. Let's delve into the character of our character. I'm full of inspiring and cautionary tales from my military experience, relevant to almost every combat situation. And 6, I enjoy being strong and like breaking things. We're a blade lock. I think we can break things pretty well. And it sounds like we're definitely going to be a strength charisma warlock. When it comes to Assassin's Creed, Corda, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what Animus is. I've never played those games. I'm just familiar with the company that makes the games themselves. All right, our ideal is number 1, a greater good. Our lot is to lay down our lives in defense of others. And that says good, and you can say, well, but Matt, we rolled a chaotic neutral character. How do you have a good ideal? And that's because the way that our character expresses his thoughts or feelings is through this this alignment of chaotic neutral, right? We're impulsive, and we're not entirely selfish, but we help ourselves first before we help others, in a broad description of that alignment. That doesn't mean we still can't serve this greater good. In fact, if we have someone who's like this, what that could mean is they're willing to be the margin, right? They want to set an example, so they're the ones who might bend or break the rules and take the heat, so that, you know, 100 other soldiers realizes, hey, don't do what Sarge over here is doing, and it'll help keep him in line, because he's willing to live on that margin and make the mistakes in order to teach everyone how they actually should be, so that someone else, especially a young, inexperienced person, doesn't get themselves killed. Does that make sense? Did I explain this concept about how we could have these this expression and this ideal? Hey, Spicy Larry has returned. Welcome back, Spicy. And hello, Roger. All right. The bond, and that especially works with his other personality trait of I have tales to tell. So he'll go out and he'll do all the crazy stuff, and he'll get scars, and he might lose a pinky or something like that. You know, so he's expressing himself in this impulsive manner, but when he comes back, he doesn't want people to have to lose their fingers and get a bunch of scars and whatever. So, all right, our bond is number 4. There we go. I'll never forget the crushing defeat my company suffered, or the enemies who dealt it. Is this campaign fodder or what? I mean, this is solid stuff for you as a DM if you are involved in the character creation process with your PCs. Good to be back, Mateo. Oh. And speaking of good to be back, I see that my cat brought me something. You want this? Go get it. Hey, Steel Dust, thank you very much. Welcome back, Steel Dust. Maybe he was taken as a prisoner of war. Yeah, we could work that into his personality, Roger. Hey, says Spicy. Oh, I like that. Viking ship with the heart. Back into Maddieland. Yeah, welcome back, Steel Dust. I'll have you know, by the way, Steel Dust, we were very successful with your namesake vampire character in Bloodlines. I don't know if you got to catch the end of that or not, but we had a very, very good conclusion. And the name Steel Dust will live on in in the hallowed books of the Tremere as a champion of the Camarilla. The ship is from Osmill. I can't say I've heard of that streamer, but I mean that doesn't. What do I know? I'm some rando D&D streamer. It's a very cool looking one. Yeah, Corda, if you want to pitch the premise, you're welcome to do so. The Skyrim character I made off that vampire was also very successful. Good, good. Then the name Steel Dust will continue to live on in the past, in the present, and now apparently you got to run a character in some futuristic game with the name Steel Dust, and then you will live for eternity. All right, his flaw is number 4. My hatred of my enemies is blind and unreasoning. Ooh. That could be a prisoner of war style setup there, Roger. Spicy says, no, I am the random D&D stream. Then I'm glad I am the rando and not just a rando. Thank you, Spicy Larry. I'm actually planning on running a Star Wars RPG with some friends in a few months after I'm... oh, okay. So then there you go. Your legacy will continue to live on then, Steel Dust. Half elf, half slod. Ooh, that's that'd be an interesting mix, huh, Roger? All right, so that's what we get by virtue of being a soldier. Now let's pop up to half elf and take a look-see about what this is going to give us or offer to our character. You know, in terms of growing up, you know, our strengths and other things like that. All right, charisma. Hey, that's great. Charisma 2 and then +1 to something else. Definitely strength and then, I don't know, maybe dex. Right? Get a little defense maybe. Maybe constitution. Let's see. He's a quartermaster. Soldier. He was probably trained in different weapons and such. Lay down our lives in defense of others. I'm full of inspiring cautionary tales from my military experience. I enjoy being strong and breaking things. I think we got the strength thing down. Maybe going dex would be a good idea too then. Make him rather physical. I'm not ignoring it, Corida, so continue, like, I'll catch up in chat as I'm setting up the character over here. Let's see, we do have dark vision out to 60 feet. Our speed is 30, giving us a 15 climb, 15 swim, and a 0 fly. And we do have Fey Ancestry. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. So advantages versus charmed. Skill versatility, we gain proficiency in 2 skills of our choice. So if we're paying attention to stories and things like military campaigns, I dare say that history would be one that we would learn along the way. And... let's see. Inspiring and cautionary tales of my military experience. That we have intimidation. That would probably be performance. To be able to really tell a tale. Languages. We have Common, Elven, and we get one other. Okay. Now, let's collapse this and go down to Warlock. We're a 4th level character, so really we only have to worry about a couple bars worth of stuff. Alright, we are a D8 hit die class, which means we're level 4, so we get 4 D8 hit die. Fill that in first. Let's see, by level 4, our proficiency bonus is still going to be a +2, and we're going to know 3 cantrips. 1, a 2, a 3. 3. And we'll get to the spells and whatnot in a little bit. Spells come after our ability scores are dropped into our character, and that's not going to happen until almost the last step for our characters. Because that's exactly what we do. Like, let's build their character, let's tell their tale. And, you know, Roger, I think we're really seeing this prisoner of war style story building around this character. I'm really happy you offered that up. So Corrida says every person's born into a class bound to it bound to it forever. Knights are vanguard soldiers, and the manual laborers. Renegades are the crafty assassins and rangers, and the traders and thieves. And the sorcerers are the magicians and intellects. No one is able to break this norm, previous attempts being described as disastrous, as well as it being against the law to the point of breaches are witch hunted. But some individuals are actually born with 2 classes despite this supposed truth. And the story follows one such person who lives to help people however he can by doing what he can to hide the truth. And if he reveals himself, he flees to stay alive. I'm getting, and this is not a slam against you, because look, every idea is an idea is an idea. Kind of a divergent style, like a premise or like a parallel in some fashion. You come up with a bit of a fair more plot points, but they're to be surprised later down the line. That's the starting premise to try and get the hook. I'm done anyway, so when you're ready, you can marathon it. Well, if you're gonna approach this story for NaNoWriMo, Corrida, if this has been something, if this is something that it's been like this forever, why is your character perhaps going to be the only one that is going to be able to change an entire society's worth of culture, history, practice, and law? That'll be the hurdle that you're gonna have to come to jump over, to come across to your readers, because your readers are gonna say, sure, I can imagine a civilization having a cultural norm that's been like this for 1,000 years. I get that. Why is this one character able to just buck an entire system? Is it because it's already fragile and it's about to break anyway, and we're just waiting for, like, the one, quote unquote? You know, is there something other? What's going to be the compelling seed of change that will grow and break up this norm that has existed in the world before? All right, next up, we are proficient in light armor and simple weapons. No tool proficiencies by virtue of being a warlock. Wisdom and charisma are going to be our saving throws. And we're going to get to choose 2 skills from Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. Let's see. Well, we already have a couple of these ticked off because of our background and our race. So going into things here, well, he has Intimidation and History already. If he has tales to tell, I don't know if he'd necessarily deceive people. I don't think he's very deceptive. Cautionary tales, because he wants to help people. While he is a warlock and can cast magic, I don't know if he's necessarily an intellectual about magic. So I don't know if Arcana is really speaking to me about this. But I think we can fill in... We can fill in maybe investigation, especially as a quartermaster. He, very analytical, putting things together, ordering, supply chain logistics kind of stuff. And then let's see, yeah, I don't know about deception either. So Arcana, maybe nature or religion. He might not have ever been a religious person, which is interesting because this is what led him, right? This maybe is what led him to be a warlock, especially having this Fey ancestry. He was never really a religious person, and he still found this patron, and it worked out because he understands the command structure and taking orders. And so I believe then nature. Maybe growing up, he's favoring his elven side more. He was taught, don't wipe with the three-pointed leaf if you're gonna go, sidestep off the trail for a minute. He's not the only one who can multi-class, and hey, you can use that from tabletops. Yep, Roxy, I think nature is going to be the way to go with this character. I think it fits in a lot of different ways. So, excellent suggestion on that. Alright, we're going to get some equipment here. A light crossbow and any simple weapon. Let's take the light crossbow. And that'll give us a quiver with 20 bolts. A component pouch or an arcane focus. If he's a quartermaster, we should probably give him a component pouch. Right? He's used to organizing things into crates and packages and rationing things out. I think that would... I think that'd work out well. A scholar's pack or a dungeoneer's pack? I think he carries the stories himself, right? I don't think he's necessarily a scholar. So, I think he's more of a person of action. Dungeoneer's pack, for sure. We're going to give him leather armor, any simple weapon, and 2 daggers. Dagger X2 and another simple weapon of some kind. Let's see. That could be a sling. That could be a club, a great club. That could be like a throwing hammer of some kind. That could work out, actually. Or like a javelin or something. He was a quartermaster. Maybe like a throwing axe, because carrying axes and whatnot would probably be standard military, right? A little hatchet for, chopping down wood in an emergency or something like that. So let's give him a hand axe. Staff, a quarterstaff for the quartermaster. That could work out too, Roger. No, Roger, so he is a blade lock. And so he can manifest any weapon he wants, and he's proficient with it. So he could just summon a magical weapon at his whim. So Jericho, we are going with a... Oh, hey, and also, yeehaw, boy howdy. Or boy howdy, yeehaw. And there's that... Ooh... There's that owlbear again. It is so cute. We're generating a level 4 Feyblade Warlock, who was a soldier and a quartermaster in particular. Chaotic neutral in alignment. Half-elf who favors his elven side. And as we're building him through his personality here, at some point in time he was taken prisoner, and he really bears a grudge. And at the same time, still, though, he wants to help other... he escaped or something whenever. Which is probably due to him getting his patron and his pact. But he kind of lives on the margin, right? He's that type of person who will do the crazy stuff and says, do as I say, not as I do. Let me get the scars. Let me get captured. Let me lose a pinky or whatever. And so that could explain why he has this greater good outlook despite his chaotic neutral presentation. So he's spontaneous and, you know, because he says, I'm going to be the person on the margin that is going to make sure that you don't get yourself into this trouble zone that I'm occupying. So don't be like me, but I'm going to step up and make sure that you're safe. So, you know, he was captured. That really left a bad impression. He, as we rolled a Fey Patron, that could have been, you know, as a soldier, maybe soldiers can be religious. Maybe this guy, he didn't grow up religious. And he wasn't too, honestly, he wasn't too smart. But he has this Fey origin. Maybe while he was captured, this patron reached out to him, realizing his potential, and said, I can get you out, but I need someone that I can trust. And you're a soldier, you know how to take orders. I'm going to give you orders, and you're going to obey them, and I'm going to give you a command structure or power in exchange. It broke him out of the POW camp, and now here we are. Yeah, so Roger Twy, a plan is a list of things that can go wrong. Alright, we'll get to spell casting later. Again, I saved that for pretty much the very end. Alright, we are going to get some invocations. We're going to get 2 of them. I don't think we go to 3 just yet. Invocations, yeah, at 5th level. So we're still at 2. And then we're going to get our Pact boon. Pact of the Blade. You can use your action to create a Pact weapon in your empty hand. You can choose the form that this melee weapon takes each time you create it. You are proficient with it while you wield it. This weapon counts as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks. This is probably how he busted out of that POW camp, right? He was stripped of almost everything, and now all of a sudden he can wield a two-handed hammer or axe, or he could suddenly just sort of like and a dagger and go, you know, sneak behind someone and. Yeah, that could very well be, Roger. And that's a good way of putting it, because nature is different than survival. And how you described it, you know, MacGyvering his way out of something, that's more of the intelligence side of, this is this type of plant. It can be woven into rope, or it's very sturdy, or something along those lines. You know, you have the practical knowledge of being able to identify things that exist in nature and their properties, whereas survival is, I know that I can eat all the red berries in this area, but I have to avoid the blue ones. I don't know what they are, I just know that I can eat the red ones. And I know I generally know how I can find water. Boy howdy yeehaw, Corrida is discussing the premise for his NaNoWriMo project. Now, the Archfey is our patron here. We can get these expanded spells, and remember, with Warlocks are weirdo spellcasters. Unlike Paladins and Druids or Circle of the Land and Clerics, you don't get this kind of domain. You don't get this expanded spell slot, or spells that are available to you, in addition to the ones you prepare. The expanded spell list simply means, instead of getting those for free, you can choose these as if they were a Warlock spell, while still sticking to the number of spells that you know as a Warlock. I hope I described that in a way that you can understand. If not, let me know and I can try and re-explain it to you. Alright, we are also going to get Fey Presence. Starting at first level, your patron bestows upon you the ability to project the beguiling and fearsome presences. This is great for a soldier. I am loving this character. This is an awesome concept. Especially because, you know, as a soldier, he already has intimidation. And now this Fey patron has bestowed upon him the ability to, you know, to just, like, project his force out. Even beyond just being angry and shouting orders. But we're not high enough yet to be level 6 and get Misty Escape, so there we go. Hey, Cameron, welcome. And a hello to you too, good sir. Ganja Storm visited us last night. It was great seeing him. And, oh no, I'm sorry, Ganja Storm hangs out in Captain Milne's. I thought he hung out in your chat as well, but maybe it's just Captain Milne. There's someone from your circle, from your play group that comes and hangs out here too, isn't there, Cameron? I got you, Corida. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have had relatives that they pretty well. Their house was very severely damaged, and so, you know, to all of you, Cameron, you know, be you friend or family, I totally understand. I was born in Florida. I very much am aware of the destruction that can be caused by hurricanes. I went through Hugo, which was a big one back in the day. I guess I get to say that now. Back in the day, huh? How old am I? Jeez. Okay, all right. I thought there was someone who also stopped by, Cameron. So, thank you for letting me know. And yeah, if he comes by again, I'll make sure to say hi too. I mean, I always would, but I want to make that connection so I get to know you all. All right, so these are the goodies that we're getting, with the exception now of let's determine which 2 invocations we want. An invocation is a sort of a built-in spell into you. It's a gift from your patron to you, and it's kind of like you are magic, and so here's a way for you to express yourself magically on a some sort of expanded or specialized basis. So I kind of think Armor of Shadows can work out really well, right? You can cast Mage Armor on yourself at will without expending a spell slot or material components. If I can summon a sword at will, I can summon armor. And I think that could have helped him break out of this POW camp or something along those lines. And so, you know, he's almost like a superhero vigilante, right? He can just summon his armor and his weapons whenever he would like. So I think Armor of Shadows would really work well for him. Though if you have different suggestions out there in audience land, let me know. This isn't my character, this is our character. Let's see.
Well, danglo catat pedwarment salriadi. Glad I voin de a. Still my favorite D&D plaque. Heres doan o therwys o memonth my man.
Aw,
And havaldi.
Cameron, thank you. And by the way, that's a very lovely Welsh accent you have. Thank you very much, Cameron, and I'm glad that we're your favorite D&D place. I will strive to be as good as a community as I can be for and with you, and especially by you. Because each of you with your own lives, your own pursuits, your own things that you do, going through hurricanes, writing for NaNoWriMo, you know, whether you live north, south, west, or east, or even there's a good handful of you who don't even live in the U.S. And I mean even like outside of North America, so Canada and Mexico. I mean, we're Europe and beyond. I'm very fortunate to be able to spend time with you, to get to know you. It means a lot to me, and so Cameron, I'm glad that we've stepped up enough, and you have faith in us as a community that you're willing to subscribe to the channel and to give it that much more support. Aw, thank you, Cameron. You know, Roxy, I was Beast Speech. I keep coming back to that, right? He's not really a man of magic. But I think if he wants to give orders and he wants to understand, and especially if he wants to tell a bunch of stories, I would agree with you, Roxy. You are onto something here with this character. You are resonating. I think Beast Speech is going to be the way to go. Roger Twy, I watched a 2-hour compilation of RD Red Dead Redemption 2 horse-kicking deaths. Oh, geez. That's a lot of deaths from getting clobbered, huh? Hey, Jericho, don't feel bad about that. I completely understand. You have life circumstances when it comes to, you know, taking care of yourself, you know, your health, your bills, your friends or family or pets. I'm not here to make anyone, you know, have to put their bills in a hat and draw out which one gets paid that month. Do not feel guilty about that. If you're here and you're interacting, you know, you're giving your time, your input, you've given the channel a follow. I'm happy. And if the time comes where the money is freed up to support it that way, then you know that I'll be grateful for that. And remember, I turn around the subscriptions to the channel with a monthly raffle to win a full box of miniatures. Also, not just pick one like our contest, our fundraiser over here. Once a month, depending on the number of subscribers to the channel, I will be handing out a full box worth of content to people in a free raffle. Yep, Jericho, I totally understand. Jericho, you can't take care of you cannot take care of other people until you can take care of yourself. So, Jericho, I mean, step up, take care of yourself, button away your expenses, get transportation, get what you need doing. And then afterwards, if you find that there's something left over and you want to contribute to the community that way, I'll be here. Oh, snap. Well, Jericho. Corda, I'm not familiar with that software. Well, there we go. By the way, I meant to bring this up. I will be getting some channel art made into subscriber emotes for use over here. So if you do subscribe, I mean, please continue. I know we've come this far and you're like, well, I know Matt doesn't have them yet. I will be giving you some emotes to use in chat. So, stick it out with me, okay? Bear through it, and you'll be getting some emotes ASAP. Oh, gotcha, Corida. Daily, let's go! Jericho, that was Cameron. Cameron gifted you a subscription. That was very nice of you. 5 points to House Cameron. Okay. Hey, I can roll 20s on a 6-sided die. How about that? Hey, Gidlock. Good to see you again. Look at that. Oh, gosh. Okay. Have an awesome time doing what you're doing, Gidlock. It's good to see you back. And lurk away. Lurk away. And Makoki's here, too. There you go, Makoki. Okay, it is now time to drop some stats. I know, I sniped you. I reverse stream sniped you in a non-game on Twitch. Well, if you like Destiny 2, you like it, sir. Now we're going to take the standard array, which is what I would recommend you play with in D&D, but of course, other DMs are going to do things differently. Taking it to the next level, I like it. Yeah, who'd expect to be reverse stream sniped on Twitch, and you're not even playing an FPS? You're just playing with you're playing with PDFs and an open source writing software. Yeah, Astreus, I agree. It's nice and easy. Everyone's on the same page but different. You can still build something custom. Yeah, I think it makes for a great time. Alrighty. Let's give a 15 to our strength and a 14 to our charisma. Let's give a 13 to our dex. And then we have a 12, 10, and 8. Probably 12 wisdom, 10 intelligence. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. He was a bit of a jarhead. 10 con, so he has really no bonus hit points. I don't know. We could always swap that around if we wanted to and go 12 con and, maybe that. Maybe a 10 wisdom and a 12 con. If he's going to be a frontliner, right? He was a former soldier. You know, he might have a bit of a belly, but you know what? It's not fat. It's like crystallized, protection built into him here. As a middle-aged or like maybe a retired soldier, kind of turned mercenary for his patron. So we'll do that instead. And that's going to bring our strength to a 16, our dexterity to a 14, And our charisma to a 16. Now, because we've reached level 4, we can put 2 points into one stat or 1 point into 2 stats. And I think it'd make sense for us to, you know, he's relied on his strength. He's developing his Warlock powers. Let's increase his charisma even higher. Although, I don't know. He's a blade lock. You know what? Even if it doesn't seem optimal, let's give him an 18 in strength and make his strength higher than his charisma. I think that really works for this character, who he is, and how he operates. Yeah, Makoki, it's that like retired drill sergeant, like crystallized mass. You know, that it's not a potbelly. It's just to protect his solid abs, right? And Alexander, hello, good morning to you. You missed that somehow. I just saw the D2, just got off work. Oh. It's been a long day. Well, thank you for coming by and relaxing with us, Cameron. Oh, yeah, that's true, Jericho. And I definitely would like to, I want to support the boys over at D&D Time as well. Pete and Jeremy do a great job. They're a lot of fun, and I'm very grateful to have gotten to know them through our little corner of Twitch here as D&D streamers. All right, Coffee Cat, sleep well. Derek is so Coffee Cat's tagging out and Derek's tagging in. Oh, all right, Corda. I wasn't aware of that. You play an entirely different set of games than I do. All right, with this, we have a 4 strength bonus. Well, not a bonus, it's a modifier. 2 dex, 1 con, -1 int, 0 wisdom, and 3 charisma. For those that have the radio button filled in, we're going to add our proficiency bonus. So we're going to have a 4 saving throw, but our athletics is actually going to be 6. Dex is going to be 2 all the way down the line. Con is 1. Let's see. This is going to be +1 history, +1 investigation, +1 nature. By the way, Derek, the character we made, like you say you want to make a sort of an aggressive character, that's what we rolled into here while you were gone. This is an awesome character. I would love to play this character, honestly. He would be really cool. I might kind of keep a copy off to the side. Alright, so aside from our saving throw, everything else here is going to be 0s in wisdom. And for charisma, we have a 5 saving throw, intimidation and performance, and then a 3 deception and 3 persuasion. This is going to bleed over into our passive perception is going to be 10. Our initiative, which is a dex check, is going to be a +2. By the way, he's earned a name. We finished with his stats. If you would like to name this character, you know, throw out something. Okay, I got the I get your reference, Corda. Oh, that's a cool concept, Jericho, and I know you're gonna have a lot of fun playing with Pete and Jeremy. So Derek, we have a middle-aged half-elf soldier who is a quartermaster. He is a Fey Blade Warlock, chaotic neutral in his expression. And Roger made a very good suggestion here that based on his personality, at some point in time he was taken prisoner by an enemy force. And in order to get out, he made this pact with this Fey patron. You know what? And maybe because he favors his elven side more than his human, and we have this soldier. He said, "Look, you're used to structure and taking orders. I can get you out of here, but you owe me service." Done. And so now we have this Fey blade, or this, if you want to call it a blade lock, Fey, like a Fey blade lock or something. Who is he's kind of that. He takes chances so that the younger people don't have to, and they can learn from him. It's that do as I say, not as I do. And which is why he can get away with being expressing himself as a chaotic neutral character, but he still has this sense of greater good about him. And oh, does he hold a grudge against these enemies? And so, for whatever these enemies are, they're probably enemies of this Archfey patron as well. And you know what? Even if he uses a Beyblade as his Pact weapon, he'll be proficient at it, Derek. And Derek is infecting people with earworms for the theme song. Alright, for the light crossbow, that is a dexterity-based weapon. We have a +4 to hit. That is going to be 1d8 plus 2, because that is our dex modifier, piercing. Our hand axe is strength-based even when we're throwing it. So that is now going to go up to a +6 to hit. 1d4 plus 4 slashing. And a dagger can be either. It's a finesse. So I think we'll choose strength in this case and go with a +6. 1d4 plus 4 piercing. We are going to know at level 4. We have 2 spell slots of second level, and that's it. We have 0 first levels. Any of our spell attacks are going to be a +5 to hit with a save of 13, because you always add 8 to your attack in order to figure out your save DC. It's just the math and how it works. Also into Bakugan. Okay. Crossfire. I remember that, Derek. I'm with you on that one, brother. Okay, our hit points are going to be... Well, at level 1, you get your full hit die of hit points, so that's 8. Then for our remaining 3 levels, because we're level 4, that is going to be half +1 of your hit dice, so 5. Then for all your levels, and so all 4 of them, you get bonus hit points equal to your Constitution modifier. So here's our formula to determine how many hit points we have. So we have 15 plus 4, so that's 19, plus 8 is 27 hit points. And as far as armor class goes, if we're just wearing leather armor, it's going to be 11, because that's what it starts with, and it gives you dex, so it'll be 13. But if he uses his invocation for mage armor, that starts at 13 plus dex. And so if he's using his summonable armor, because he also has a summonable weapon, he would be rolling with a 15 AC. And then you could put like MA for mage armor if you want, or put like a little asterisk here, and then, or I guess like a plus sign. And then we would put a plus sign next to Armor of Shadows, so we know that that's the calculation. Also, add the cube to Astraeus' box. Trade has been reached. I have agreed to trade it for the air in his box. Okay, so I will... Oh my. So, Astreus, you're going to get a gelatinous cube.
Niet Misamdagens, Gemmeldagens, Tour of dem. Also, der ist bei uns ihr. Never leave a boon unpaid.
Very wise wisdom there. Never leave a boon unpaid. So, Astreus, you're going to get the gelatinous cube out of Derek's box, and in exchange, I'm going to somehow have to remove the air out of your box. And then we'll pop open some Dargans here for Derek. We're almost finished with this character, and so we'll get to that in just a second. Spellcasting ability for a Warlock is Charisma. We had a 13 to save, and that was then a plus 5. Oh, there we go, 5. We have 3 cantrips, and you know what? I dare say, we were talking about this the other day, I dare say this Warlock would not have Eldritch Blast. I think that he would find much better use out of other cantrips than Eldritch Blast. I remember those series too, Derek. We have 0 level 1 slots, and we have 2 level 2 slots. Now, if you look at our spells known, right, at first level, we know 2. So, level 1, and we're going to do this there. That way we know when we're getting the spells, because between levels, you can modify this stuff. At level 2, we know a 3rd spell. However, it still has to be a first level spell slot. At level 3, though, look at this. We go up to 4 total spells known. But look, we open up the 2nd level. So if we wanted, we could then go level 3, and then you'll notice level 4. But if we really wanted, we could go back and give the level 4, the character level 4 back into a level 1 spell if we chose to. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes spellcasting, because every spellcaster does something unique. I hope I was able to explain that adequately to you. You all are having quite the nostalgia fest here. So there you go, Derek. Roxy liked Biker Mice from Mars as well. Okay, so aside from going through and picking out which spells are known, and remember, there is the Warlock list in Chapter 11. But remember, you can treat your expanded spell list as a Warlock as if they were Warlock spells. You do not get them extra like you would a domain spell for a cleric, or an oath spell for a paladin, or for a circle spell for a druid. But that just means that we can take Fairy Fire and Sleep as spells to fill the spells that we know, instead of something else that's on the generic Warlock list. So, I mean, we can always go back and fill this in, but I want to get to Derek's boxes, and then we'll take a 10-minute break, and we'll come back and make our fifth member of the party. I hope that this was fun and instructional. Roxy, you may be new to D&D, but I think you were very intuitive to this character creation process. So be sure to give yourself a pat on the back, okay? I think you did an excellent job with your contributions. Also, I would like a suggestion for a name for this character. Actual name and, an agent code name on behalf of the patron. I'm open to ideas.